man who was a person of interest concerning the murder of a Sarcoxy woman is found dead. It's National Seed Swap Day. We'll take you to Joplin's Empire Market and show you how they took part. A church in Nevada honoring one of their own with a memorial rodeo in Carthage.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Officials with the Jasper County Sheriff's Office say the person of interest in the murder of Becky Sanders of Sarcoxy has been found dead. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. Officials say the Cullman County Sheriff's Office in Alabama received information about a possible location for Justin Chase Stevens. Authorities say the information they received said Stevens was staying in the garage apartment of a residence in Cullman County. Deputies surrounded the house and attempted to call him out. However, after Stevens did not respond to requests to come out, deputies entered the garage and found Stevens dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. It's been a wild evening of weather. Seems a lot calmer now, though, Nick.
Thankfully so, if I can add my 2 cents in, Chris. We had to track tornado warnings late this afternoon and early this evening. Before that, we had a lot of rain to start the day out, and that certainly had an impact on temperatures. Take Joplin Regional, for example. We only started at 47 and topped out right at 55 degrees, but pushing over 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. The storms that we had materialized in northeast Oklahoma late this afternoon and before we got the evening started were strong enough to drop some hail along the Kansas-Oklahoma line in areas along the south of 44, but on the fringe of our area, it was strong enough to drop a few quick tornadoes. No big damage reports that we could find across Newada County, but that storm system cold enough on the other side of things to bring snow for parts of the Great Lakes. Even though it would be nice for me to see some of that snow here, we're just glad we're quiet for the rest of the night. Temperatures falling back already into the 30s around Iola and Yates Center, the rest of us in the 40s. I think everyone's fair game to drop back into the mid-30s tonight with maybe just a few random areas of sprinkle or drizzle in the morning. And then we're just cloudy and cold tomorrow with highs near 40. Well, you will have additional rain chances on the way, Chris, but nice dry time ahead of us as well. Right down the forecast in a bit.
I think we'll all take that dry time right now after this evening. Nick, thank you so much. Well, take a look. This is what Nick was talking about. This is video from our affiliate KOTV in Tulsa, taken by one of their storm chasers near South Coffeyville, Oklahoma, around 2 this afternoon. Now, this video shows what appears to be a brief tornado touchdown. As Nick mentioned, too, there were no reports of damage or any indication as to what the severity of the tornado was. Now, Nick Kelly has some additional video from near the Afton area that he'll be sharing a little bit later. Many may be unaware of a holiday taking place surrounding farming. KOAM's Bronte Saratsky spoke with farmers at Joplin's Empire Market to understand their passion for seeds.
In case you didn't know, today is National Seed Swapping Day. To celebrate, Ozarks Homesteading and Joplin Empire Market teamed up to create a community seed swap.
Sometimes we have too much of one thing, or something isn't working in our garden, or somebody's interested in growing something, and as a farmer I buy large quantities of seed, and so at the end of the season I'll have extras that I just want to share with people.
It's not just for farmers. The general public is welcome to pursue any interest they may have in the seed exchange, which heightened with the pandemic.
There's been a lot of interest in growing our own food. So we've been getting a lot of questions and a lot of interest in that. And again, this is just an opportunity to come in, talk to farmers and master gardeners, swap seed, drop seed off that you may have too much of, and just share that interest in growing our own food.
The main goal of the swap? To make gardening more accessible to everyone.
We just want people to plant gardens.
Cheryl Franklin, who helped organize the swap, says events like this create more transparency between farmers and the public.
People are concerned about pesticides and herbicides and things like that, and so you just can be assured that you're eating healthy foods and you know where it came from.
Not only was this a great networking opportunity for local gardeners, but it also opened new doors for newbies as well. In Joplin, Bronte Saratsky, KOAM News.
Newcomers without seeds to share were asked to give an optional small donation and then given instructions along with their new seeds. Well, the Riverside Cowboy Church in Nevada hosted one of 5 rodeos at the Civil War Arena in Carthage. The rodeos are a fundraiser by the church, and each rodeo honors a different person. Tonight's rodeo honored Callie Henson, who passed away in a car accident at the age of 18. And she was a big horseback rider and a member of the church.
Oh, she was an amazing young lady. She was that young lady who always had a smile on her face. She just loved Jesus, and she spent all her time making everybody else feel comfortable. And she just was amazing from the time I met her until she passed away.
The proceeds from tonight's rodeo go to Callie's family and the church for a riders camp they host in the summer. Via Christi in Pittsburgh is making changes to its visitor guidelines. Effective February 1st, the hospital will allow patients who are admitted to have 1 visitor per day between the hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Additionally, patients seeking care in the emergency departments at either Pittsburgh or Fort Scott will be allowed to have 1 visitor with them. At this time, no visitors are being allowed for patients receiving care for confirmed or suspected COVID-19, except for end-of-life situations or for patients who cannot advocate for themselves. Earlier today at Ewart Park in Joplin, volunteers set up a lunch and free shop for anyone in the community hit hard by the pandemic, especially the homeless population. The volunteers offered free food as well as other essentials for anyone in need.
We're making grilled cheese and tomato soup, and we have a free shop of necessities, hand warmers, gloves, coats, some shampoos and toiletries and stuff, and anybody can come and get it if they need them.
And the event was open to anyone in the community. And we take this time now to honor one of our many 4-state heroes. Private First Class Alvin Schamberger served in the Army in Korea from 1951 to 1952. His hometown, Wemp City. We are proud to recognize Private First Class Alvin Schamberger, tonight's 4-state hero. And of course, remember to learn more about other heroes or to nominate one of your own, just head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that is a look at our top stories and a quick check of the forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, the latest on President Biden's efforts to get new stimulus relief out to Americans, and details as COVID vaccine efforts continue to ramp up in the country. President Biden is pushing to get new stimulus relief into the hands of struggling Americans with or without Republican help. CBS News correspondent Christina Ruffini is at the White House tonight.
President Biden spent the week doing what he could to convince Americans to get on board with his COVID relief plan.
The COVID relief has to pass. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
The almost $2 trillion package includes $20 billion for a national vaccination program, $15 billion in grants for small businesses, and a third round of direct payments, $1,400 to most Americans. The White House wants Republican buy-in for the package, but so far it's been a tough sell. Many GOP lawmakers, including Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy, say they've got sticker shock.
Republicans can be there, but it can't just be spending $1.9 trillion pulled out of the air with no justification.
With new figures showing 2020 was the worst year for the American economy since 1946, Senator Elizabeth Warren says Democrats will go forward, with or without the GOP.
If the Republicans aren't going to do it, then Democrats got elected not just to stand around and debate in Washington. They got elected to deliver, and that is exactly what we should do.
And with those temporary fences still standing around the Capitol, lawmakers are also struggling to agree on how best to handle their own security. Yesterday, the FBI offered a $100,000 reward for information on the person seen in this Washington Post video planting pipe bombs near the Capitol the night before it was overrun by an angry mob. Brian Sicknick, the officer killed in those riots, will lay an honor at the Capitol this week, providing a rare opportunity for divided lawmakers to come together to honor his service and sacrifice. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, the White House.
Well, tonight, the vaccination rollout is ramping up. FEMA is enlisting help from the Pentagon to get millions more Americans vaccinated. The CDC reports a total of nearly 30 million doses have been administered, But the longer it takes, the more time the virus has to mutate. Today, the number of infected Americans topped 26 million. The death toll now nearing 439,000. The good news is new cases have fallen in 41 states, and hospitalizations are down too. But the risk remains high everywhere. CBS's Danya Bacchus is in Los Angeles tonight and has the latest on the vaccine rollout and virus fight.
In the pursuit to protect Americans against COVID-19, CBS News has learned that FEMA requested the Pentagon deploy 10,000 troops to 100 vaccination sites with a goal to vaccinate nearly 500,000 Americans every day. The CDC reports some 5 million Americans are now fully vaccinated. That's less than 2% of the population.
I'm offering you a vaccine.
In South Los Angeles, Kedron Community Clinic stayed open hours after closing time, giving the vaccine to anyone who walked in so 600 doses would not go to waste. Dr. Jerry Abraham refusing to turn people away.
If that means someone in this line gets one who's not in those priority groups, so be it. I can sleep at night with that decision. I won't be able to sleep if I know that I dropped vaccine into the ground or disposed of it.
Virus variants initially identified in the UK and South Africa are quickly spreading across the nation. The UK strain first reported in Colorado less than a month ago, now present in at least 30 states. The South African variant is now confirmed in 2 states, including Maryland, according to the state's governor today.
I just feel that it's even more important now to get vaccinated than ever. If anybody ever had any doubt about it, I think it's just vitally important.
As the virus continues to mutate, a vaccine game changer may be on the way. Johnson & Johnson will request emergency authorization for their one-and-done vaccine this week. New travel rules take effect late Monday, requiring masks be worn on all public transit nationwide at all times. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, Nick Kelly is up next with a complete look at our forecast, and a little later on the KOAM News at 10, we'll show you the interesting creation of one Chiefs superfan.
This certainly turned out to be an interesting Saturday where we started out with widespread rain across the area. Then as the afternoon got going, here's just an example of how interesting the afternoon was. This was sent in to us from Trey Sweeten of Grove, Oklahoma. He was catching what looked like a funnel trying to make its way down to the ground coming out of Grove, Oklahoma, and also headed toward areas just north of Bernice, which is where he was looking when he sent this video in. That is certainly what we had to keep an eye on throughout the course of the day, even though we thankfully didn't see much in the way of tornado warning touchdowns. Let's switch back and let's break down exactly what these storms did for today. Let's switch back and take a look at our time lapse from Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri. We did see all that rain from this morning, the cloud cover too. Then we saw some of the heavier rains from the thunderstorms that plowed on through. This was the big massive rain that rotated across the region as we got deeper into the morning and certainly into the afternoon. And you can even notice as the backside of that system, before it started to rotate through, we had some dry areas, sunshine trying to peek through, a little low level spin, and not to mention temperatures trying to push into the upper 50s to near 60. That turned out to be just enough fuel to drop a few weak tornadoes on the fringe of our area in Nowata County. Then the rest of the way, those storms mainly just dropped hail ranging between dimes and quarter size. If you didn't see, fortunately, any of that severe activity late this afternoon and early this evening, we saw area-wide rain amounts push over an inch. Some of you with the heavier pockets of rain pushing 1 to 2 inches. And as far as any rain that's led to any flash flooding, there is still a flash flood warning for central parts of Berry County, mainly focused just to the north of Cassville until 1 a.m. But that's primarily for the rain that worked on through, and it's well to the east of us now. We're hard pressed to find anything, but I would not be surprised if we had still a random shower or a couple areas of drizzle or a few sprinkles trying to hang on out there underneath otherwise mostly cloudy skies. 44 in Joplin feels like 37 with that west-northwest wind picking it back up at 16 miles per hour. Around Joplin, we managed to, despite all the rain, despite all the clouds and the storms, top out in the mid-50s today, upper 50s rather, to near 60 in northeast Oklahoma, and everybody else just made for a chilly day. But now everyone's falling into the same ballpark as temperatures go. Upper 30s for our and Yates Center, but most of us now sitting in the 40s, and we are still not done dropping off just yet as we continue to sit on the backside of this storm system. Much colder air once we work closer to Chicago and the southern sides of the Great Lakes. That's where all the snow is with this storm system at the surface at least. But upstairs, this upper low is going to hang on for another day, keep us under the clouds for your Sunday. But this upper ridge will keep us quiet to start the early week out. And then we got the next storm system out west that we need to keep an eye on late in the week ahead of us. So at the very least, on the good side of things, no severe weather. No thunderstorms for tonight, but the clouds stick with us, and still can't rule out a random shower or a few areas of sprinkles or drizzle. Otherwise, we're going to be hard-pressed to warm up at all tomorrow. 35 in the morning, 38 by noon, and highs only near 40 with that northwest wind at 10 to 20, not to mention gusts near 25 at times. So wider view of things, taking us right into Monday with this upper ridge, keeping us quiet. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. This puts highs in the 40s on Monday and then back in the 50s for Tuesday and Wednesday. So to start the week out, it's looking okay, at least this work week and school week. But then that next system out west wants to bring in rain chances by Thursday. And depending on how things play out, its temperatures can play out to our favor. If you want snow, maybe a mix of rain and snow by the time we head towards Friday. So 40 tomorrow, 44 Monday, 53 Tuesday, 57 on Wednesday, staying relatively dry for the next 4 days, Chris, and we'll take it after we had to deal with severe weather today. But sticking with Doug's pattern, we'll see rain chances back in on Thursday, and then a couple shots for some winter weather by next weekend.
Looks like we get just enough time to breathe before the next storm system goes ahead and decides to park itself on.
At least in this instance, we're not seeing anything too crazy severe-wise Thursday or by late next weekend.
Good deal. God, that's what I like. Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, Pitt State's Tristan Gagg posts a career high against Rogers State. Plus, both the Gorillas and Lions hit the track at the MIAA Challenge in Pittsburgh. Sports Director Jacob Leonard has more next.
Pittsburgh State Track and Field hosts the Wendy's MIAA Challenge today. 8 teams in the conference showed up to compete this afternoon. Pitt State and Missouri Southern, they were dominating events early. Men's weight throw, Southern's Peyton Barton got a PR here, 63 feet 6 inches to win it. Pitt State's Connor Swinson finishes second. To the high jump now, this guy, just a freshman. Pitt State's Tim Johnson, 6 feet 7 inches wins it today for Johnson. A women's long jump here. Final jump for Pitt State's Asia Anderson, 18 feet 4 inches. That's her best of the day. She finishes second. Missouri Southern's Claire Llewellyn, 5.62 meters, 18 feet 5 inches. That gets her first place in the long jump. It was not the only win for Llewellyn. She wins the 60 hurdles with an NCAA qualifying time of 8.68 seconds. A men's pole vault here, junior Cameron Wright. He is the last one standing. 16 feet, 10.75 inches. That is the third best mark in the nation.
Feels good, but I want more. I mean, I know I have 525, 535 in me, so I just got to focus and execute what I'm capable of doing. Today proved myself. I gained my confidence back. I'm more than capable, so it's just keep practicing and keep working at it.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas hit the road on the basketball court tonight to face Rogers State. On the women's side, the Gorillas try for back-to-back wins after topping Northeastern State on Thursday. Now, Tristan Gagg, really good in this one. She scores a career-high 32 points. Kaylee Demitz adds 26. Gorillas top the Hillcats 92-81. The Pittsburgh State men able to make it a sweep, winning 86-75. Missouri Southern also in action today at Northeastern State. Another big double-double for Maddie Stokes, 20 points, 18 rebounds. Lions finish it 68-61. As for the Southern men, they make it 3 straight wins, topping the Riverhawks 100-83. 31 points for Cam Martin. Lawson Jenkins adds 29. Division I now, Oklahoma trying for its 4th win against the top 10 team just this month. Alex Reese throwing it down. Sooners down 4 early. Second half, here comes OU. Jalen Hill, dunk of his own. Sooners now with a 3-point lead. Under 20 seconds left, Oklahoma lead down to just 2. Elijah Harkless. Nice move. Turnaround Jay goes. Oklahoma takes down 9th-ranked Alabama 66-61. The Carthage Tigers are on the floor today for a rare Saturday afternoon game. The Tigers hit the floor this afternoon hosting the Harrisonville Wildcats. Now, Carthage aims to bounce back after a 10-point loss to Nevada last night. And Justin Ray knocked down some shots today. 6 threes, game high 25 for Ray. Here he is again in the second. 2 more there. Then Max Templeman knocking it down from the far side. Tigers take the lead after 2. Check this out. Connor Blix behind the back finds Kennedy Atkinson. Carthage responds with some flair from Templeman. Into the fourth, though, this dude closed it out. Brooks Langer, 14 points in the final frame. Harrisonville wins a tight one tonight, 72-67. The Kansas Jayhawks got a top 25 matchup on the road against the Tennessee Volunteers today, and this one was a tough one for KU. Hawks fall 80-61. KU is now 11-6 overall this season. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Chiefs Superfan put together an $800 Patrick Mahomes jersey made of chainmail. Now, chainmail is a type of armor consisting of small metal rings linked together in a pattern to form a mesh Kansas City Chiefs Superfan jersey. Now, Rick Smith has his own version of a Patrick Mahomes jersey.
To pry this particular one off me, it'd probably be about $4,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
To make another one, it'd probably, the material cost and everything is the big upfront thing, and then just the time involved to do it all.
Have you spin around? Let's see it.
Now, there is one person Rick wouldn't mind selling it to, and that's Patrick Mahomes himself. Rick says he'd have a hard time telling him no. Now, for his next project, Rick plans to make a Chiefs wall mural with more than 100,000 chains. That is a lot of work. That is a lot of chains.
Wow.
That is an impressive outfit. I can't imagine how heavy that is.
That's got to pack a lot of weight on you.
It good for COVID exercise, I suppose, if you've been
some
stuck at
kind
home.
of workout, I'm sure.
Yeah. Nick, things quiet now.
Yes, they are. And we're going to keep it quiet for tomorrow, even though it'll be a struggle to warm up. Highs near 40, mid-40s Monday, back into the 50s Tuesday and Wednesday. Relatively dry for the next 4 days before we see rain back in on Thursday and possibly wintry weather working back in by Friday.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. And that's our time for now. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back here tomorrow night. Until then, good night.